Alrighty, let's get into the daily recap. There was no trade, start out by saying that. Um, but let's get into what we have today, how we can identify conditions early on and use the higher time frame to our advantage. Right? So, starting on the 4 hour, what do we have? We are at all-time highs. We have all-time highs right here. We have this little high right here. Uh, and we have this 4 hour gap right here. We do tap into it, it is mitigated, and it delivers us higher, but then from there we do reject and start to come down, right? So from there, we can assume we may continue higher, as on the 4 hour, that makes sense. Although we are rejecting, we are coming from a gap, so we can continue higher, and we have this protected low right here that should, in theory, hold, right? Now, scaling down to the 1 hour, this is where we can see a bit more. What do we have? The first thing we notice is this bearish gap right here, right? So off open, off rip, we have this bearish gap. I don't know about you, that is the first thing I noticed, right? Which also inverse to this gap that failed to hold. We also have two bullish gaps. We have this one right here, boom, and we have the biggest one in the price leg right now. We have this one, okay? So from here, what do we see? We see that we come down, right? We start to react out of this gap, but then we come right back into this one and react out of it a little bit harder. So from there, we can already see today we are most likely not going to do too much. We're in a gap sandwich. They're both bringing us to other spots, but the second we get to one, we start to reject, okay? So going into the day already, what I would want to ideally see is us tap into this gap with this low holding and then a move up, right? And even then, you still have to wait for a lot of confirmation because we do have this bearish gap right here. You could go ahead and get rid of these right now, though. So, scale down a little bit more, right? What do we have? Boom. We have, well, I could have done this on that one, but we also had this protected low, right? So, you would assume this would hold. This one does fail to hold. NASDAQ is the more bearish pair today. So, ES does hold it a little bit in the beginning, but we'll get into that later. So we have this, and we still have this low right here. So if we go ahead and we play through a little bit, right? Now it's 11. Okay, perfect. Well, yeah, basically, let's see what we said, and we're going to see how we could have predicted that, right? So basically, just because we're in a gap sandwich, we're rejecting. None of the gaps are delivering us or failing to deliver us in one clear direction. And right off open, you see this super wicky price action, and we do continue to start wicking. When you see stuff like this, assume we are going to continue moving this way until proven otherwise, which we were never proven otherwise. We keep on wicking. The only thing we can take away is that this protected low does end up getting swept out. From there, though, the lows are starting to hold, right? We got this one, and this one. They're starting to hold. So this could be a sign that we are going to become bullish now as the 4 hour does start to hold. But let's go back to high time frame and let's see what we see, right? So coming back down, coming back up to the 4 hour, we can see while wanting to go lower, we are so bullish that we are still holding onto the gap. While it is a struggle, we obviously wanted to go down, right? We even sweep out a really protected low, but this gap is holding. Hang on, let me skip ahead a little bit more. Oh shit. Let me just leave. Yeah, as you can see, as of right now, the gap is still holding, right? Which makes sense. It's the only gap we have anywhere near us, so it should hold. We are bullish, right? But it is kind of crazy that this did get swept out. But you guys can see how we can start to utilize these signs to sit out a day, know when not to trade, right? With the strongest low failing to hold, that could be a sign of bearish, but we do end up rejecting from there and rejecting from the gap. So we could start to flip, which is also this biggest gap that we have is holding, right? So we can see here the biggest bullish gap is holding on, but it was a struggle. We take out the strong low, but the gap is still holding. Now from here, I don't know about you, but the only reasonable thing to me is to go higher at least until this gap to mitigate it, right? To tap into that. From there, we'll see how we are moving. Can't be predicting. We have to just really react to what the market gives us. So what we'd want to see is something like, I don't know where this thing is. I have no clue, but basically we'd want to see us come into this gap. We might react out of it, but ideally we'd want to run through this gap. Oh, it's so messy. Ideally we'd want to run through this gap, come here, maybe get a little retrace here off of these highs, and then run through to all-time high. That would be ideal, but doesn't matter to us right now. We just have to see what market gives us. Don't try to predict. You'll get caught up in bad habits. You know, just do what market gives you, right? And coming over here to ES, you can see we were more bullish here, and this protected low does hold here, so that creates a SMT, which is further more context onto us flipping bullish from here, right? Which it doesn't matter, it's midday, we'll see what we do overnight, we'll see what we get. But you can see we fail to create any bearish gaps here, and we are probably going to come up to all-time highs, but whatever. But you can see the same thing here, more bullish, right? So I was on ES, so I'm like, okay, I'm on ES. There is no 4-hour gap here, but we do have the super protected low, and then we also have this one, which did get swept out, creating an SMT off the strongest one, and the 1-hour gap on ES is holding, right? And this one really failed to deliver us lower, but you know, we'll see what we get tomorrow. Hopefully price action can clear up so we can go in tomorrow assuming we're going to be moving cleanly rather than moving like this, because it's hard to trade when we're moving like this. You know, that's just when it's going to be most improbable. We're going to be losing trades, so you just really want to sit that out. But yeah, that's pretty much it for today. Kind of like not doing too good on videos, you know, not putting my words together too good just because I don't like doing them. But you guys can kind of get the gist of what I mean on we can just identify these conditions early on, helping us avoid losing trades, right? You know, we're in a gap sandwich, we're failing to deliver from each, protected lows aren't holding, protected highs aren't holding. We can just assume we're going to be doing bullshit. We might be clearing up from here, but we'll just see going into tomorrow. I hope you guys have a good day. I'll see you tomorrow.